when you are filling in, we are on page 25. So when you take a look, this is page 25 in your notes. There are 9 questions tomorrow on our test. So tomorrow is 2/20. I had a few of you that mentioned you might be gone. So if you're gone for wrestling and you're here early in the morning and you wanted to take that, or if you wanted to plan to take it today in advisory, if you had this work done, I know some of you talked to me last week, and there will be 50 points, which that will be 100%. So I'll put it in as a percentage because it's a test. So the first one's solving by graphing. There'll be 2 questions when you take a look at that. When you are looking at those 2 questions, each one of those is going to be 5 points each, so we have a total of 10 points. Last time, some of you didn't solve by graphing. You use substitution or elimination. So here, I do need to see, like, either the point of intersection, where you tell me, oh, this was the X, this is the Y. I would see 2 parallel lines, and you would tell me that there's no solution. Or I would see, like on the last quiz, where the 2 lines were one on top of the other one, and so when you graphed them, you told me there was infinitely many solutions. Okay. This is using the slope and the y-intercept that you were using, that we used for probably the last couple of months. That second standard, I can solve a linear system algebraically. This is where you do the substitution or the elimination, but you can use all of one method if you like. So some of you are like, oh, I really like using substitution. You can do that for every problem. You like using the elimination, that's that addition method. So when we were adding them together and one variable eliminates, you can use that. Whichever method is easier for you or that you like to use, that's the one you should use. There's going to be 3 of those questions. Those 3 questions that we are looking at are going to be a total of, I think they're 5, 5, and 6, so 16 points for those 3 questions. And again, I will recommend that you take plenty of time and check those answers over. And then this is what that packet was for, was practicing writing those equations. So you only have to write and not solve. There will be 4 questions, 24 points. So the reason that when the sub was looking at on Friday of saying that you had to solve those, you didn't need to solve them for this. You just need. So looking at the writing part of our equations from the packet, like I said, I'm going to post these notes, and you'll see all of these answers in the notes when you take a look at it. I want to take a look at writing some of our equations. So some of the equations on this first one. First page, kind of okay? Yes? No? Do we want to look at any of those 1, 2, 3 on that first page? The third one, admission fare to the fair is $1.50 for children and $5 for adults. On a certain day, 2,200 people. So one of your equations is going to be the number of people, or how many. Okay, so when I talk about, oh, are we trying to find a how many? Okay, this is going to be the how many people, right? And the other one is, if you think about it, it's kind of like our value or the price per ticket, right? This is our dollars that we're dealing with. So if I looked at just the number of people that went, we had children and adults. So C plus A was equal to how many people attended, Jonathan? If we are looking at it, number 3. That day, how many people entered the fair? Number 3. 2,200. That's my number equation. So Josh, now I want to look at the value. What was the value of the children's ticket?
$1.50.
So I'm going to have 1.5C plus. Keep going if I'm looking at it. Isabel? The value of adult child or adult ticket. 4A equal to, Morgan, if I'm thinking about it, how much money did they spend? Or what? 5,050. Now to me, this one, I could either in this first equation solve for C or A. I don't need you to go back and do that. We're not going to solve these. But that would be my equation that I'd probably be taking a look at. Okay? Another one that someone had mentioned was number 6. So number 6 says, baseball has 75 fans that attend the game. Everyone that was there was a fan of either the home team or the away team. And the number of home fans was 90 less than 4 times the number of away fans. So, if we are looking at it, we might use H for home. So the home fans was 90 less than 4 times the away. What does 4 times the away look like? If I'm taking a look at that, what do you think, Yad? 4 times the away fans looks like 4A. And then it's 90 less than that, so 4A minus 90. Now together, the home and away, Jared, how many people do we know there was for home and away? 75. So I'm going to write my next equation. It's going to say home plus away equals 75. Number 7. We are looking at number 7. Number 7 says, a fruit stand decides to charge for their produce. They need $10 for 4 apples and 4 oranges. They also need $15 for 6 apples and 6 oranges. We put this information in a system of linear equations. Can we find a unique price for an apple or an orange? Meaning, could each one have like be $1 or $1.50, depending on that? So if we are writing just to write our equations, I want to take a look at that. What do you think, Tyler, if I'm doing that first one for $10 with my apples and oranges?
4 plus.
How about 4A plus
4O.
And I might, instead of oranges, like maybe I'm going to use G because an O kind of looks like 0, right? So those of you that aren't writing this, make sure you are. And equals what?
Equals 10.
Equals 10. And if I look at this next equation, as I'm looking at that, Cameron, what might you think? $15 for 6 apples and 6 oranges. So I might think what? So Tyler told us for 4 apples, he had 4A. What do you think for 6 apples? 6A, keep going, plus 6G was equal to 15. And actually, if you were looking at solving this one, you might get the same number in front of both of them. One's going to be, so if I think of multiplying, a number that 4 and 6 both go into might be 12, right? So I might take this whole first one times 3, and I may take this whole next one times -2. Well, the A's and the G's are going to cancel, but these numbers are not going to cancel because they're not the same. So this is a no solution one, if you would solve it. And because it's no solution, is there going to be a unique price? No, because there's no number that works as we are looking at that one. Okay? I want to take a look. At the lemonade stand, there was a small cup of lemonade for $1.25, a large for $2.50. Harold told a total of 155 cups. He collected $2.65. How much of each type did he sell? Is this almost exactly like the first page where we had the people going into the fair, where you have how many tickets? So think about how many lemonades did we sell? The large, right? The small plus the large, so L plus S, or if you want to start with your small, since they gave us S first, small plus large equals how many cups did they sell? 155. What is the value of each one? Because we're going to look at those. So now we are going to think, if we are looking at that, Kaizen, what would you say is the value of a small cup? So I'm going to have 1.25S plus, if I am looking at that, Jaden, how much was our large cup?
$2.50.
2.5 L. And it's equal to how much money? 255. 265, thank you. Other questions you would like me, I need you to solve these for this F11 worksheet. What I do need is that you have all of these equations written. So when you are taking a look at, this was through question 21, and if you copy these down, it's not hurting me as you look at it. You should try and write them and then check it, right? Because the test tomorrow, you have 4 of them that you have to write out like these. So this will be on the daily planner. I would like you in your workbook to turn right now to page 41. So tomorrow, you will put this packet in right at page 41. And in 41, the first page says solve with substitution. I need you, out of these 6 problems, you can pick any 4 you would like, but you need to have 4 done in this section. You are going to notice that there are, on the next page, that there are a total of 6 graphs. Again, you need to do 4 solving by graphing. You can choose whichever 4 you would like. And as you look at that last part, where you are using elimination, again, out of the 6, pick 4. Okay? All of these answers are in the back as you are checking those. Okay? So, in class today, I would really like you, if you need to work on writing, whichever you think you need the most help with, that's what you want to start with. So if you really think, I don't remember how to graph, and kind of forget that, I need the start point, right? So if I'm looking at this one, number 8, I can't even graph this one, right? I have to rewrite it as y equals, and how do I get rid of the +2? And some of you might go, I'm not going to do that one because it's not set up nice. You probably will see one like 8 or 9 where the y is not by itself and you need to rewrite that on the test, right? So you're probably going to want to try either 8 or 9 of your graphs. But when you look at those, you want to make sure that when you do that, if it's infinitely many or no solution, that you're understanding why. You need to remember how to start with your beginning point. That's your 0b. And you want to think of your movement. That's your rise over run. When you do the graph, some of you might want to have that face going positive slope and negative slope. So as you are looking at those, so if that helps you. So you're going to use your time today in class for really working on, if it's working on the story problems, if it is working on